Now, the economic illusion, it is continuing, and we're seeing numbers come out showing us how great the economy is. Now, this is just one gigantic illusion. What is happening here, the numbers, the calculations that were used before, they are being put into overdrive right now to push this entire system to the edge, because the main plan here is to get rid of the central bank, to reshape the entire economic structure. And when we start looking at real information and real data, the real numbers, we can see that the economy is declining rapidly. Statistical numbers, you can make them any way you want them to be. It makes no difference, because all you have to do is revise, change, leave something out, and you can make anything look great. And that's what is happening right now. Now, if we look at durable goods, what do we see happening? Well, after 2 months of declines, durable good orders were expected to rebound incredibly in June. They did not. They thought they were going to get a 3% surge in durable goods, and when it came out, it was a meager 1%. Now, when we start to look at this, we have to look at why did this happen? Well, it was from the military-industrial complex. They saw a rise of 20% month on month. Remember, durable goods are those big-ticket items, washers, dryers, things like that, and we are definitely not seeing that. People are not going out and purchasing these items. So this number right here is showing us that the people, they're not going out and purchasing the big-ticket items. Yes, if you include military spending, it looks fantastic. Just like with retail, when gas prices go up, they say retail is doing a lot better, but really, is it? No, it is not. If we look at housing, we see housing is falling apart around the world. And if we look at Canada right now, we see there's a national slowdown. National home sales fell 11% year over year in June. Sales dipped. So did the total amount spent on real estate. The total dollar volume dipped 12% over year in June, totaling about $23.5 billion. And we can see right now, with less money spent, less taxes come in. People are trying to sell their houses. It is not working. If we look here in the U.S., we see new home sales. Well, they tumbled to an 8-month low. So let's look at some of these numbers here. In June, we saw a 6.7% surge, and they said, wow, real estate, it's incredible, new home sales, it's fantastic. And then all of a sudden, they went back and they revised the numbers. Now, they're at 3.9%. So June tumbled 5.3% month on month, well below expectations. This is the biggest month-on-month drop in new home sales since December 2017. And this also follows a plunge in housing starts in June. Demand weakened in 3 of the 4 U.S. regions, including a 7.7% drop in the South. This is the largest area. The decline in sales left 301,000 homes available nationwide in June, and refis are down by 30% year on year. What we're seeing here is the bubble is bursting in the housing market. So we have existing homes, new home sale reports showing us they're a lot worse than everyone expected. Now, we know there's a lot of statistical manipulation that they keep, using to revise these numbers to make the numbers look better. But we see what's happening with the home builder stocks. They're in an official bear market, with some home builder stocks down over 30% since late January. And with the new home sales report, along with a serial decline in the housing starts data, disproves the low inventory narrative. Affordability, rising rates, and shrinking pool of potential homebuyers who can qualify for conforming mortgages has torpedoed demand. The latest Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report featured a chart that says home buying sentiment is declining, because people realize on the front lines what is happening right now. People understand, like, okay, my house price is going down. Why should I sell it now? The mortgage rates are going up. I'm not getting raises at work, or I lost my job, and right now I can't purchase a house. So as you can see, the consumer sentiment toward buying a home is at its lowest reading since 2008. This is not a fact that would ever show up in the mainstream financial reporting on the housing market. They don't really talk about this. They don't want anyone to really know what is going on. They don't want people to understand that the housing market is rapidly falling apart. And it just didn't start today. This has been ongoing. Remember what they've done. The central bankers have pushed up a bubble in 20 cities by keeping houses off the market, by having investment companies come in and purchase, thousands upon thousands of houses. They're told to hold on to it. Banks, they didn't foreclose on homes. They told people they can live there. They didn't want to put them back on the market because more houses on the market, well, then you can't drive the price up. Less houses on the market, you can drive the prices up. That's what we've been seeing. Now, it looks like Trump has a big win with Europe. They agreed to work toward zero tariffs. And we see right now, European Commissioner President Jean-Claude Juncker met with Trump, and they are talking about having zero tariffs right now. So it looks like things are moving in a completely different direction, and those people who are not really elected, they are moving towards what Trump really wants. Now, this is not going to be easy, as we can see. It's going to be very difficult as we move forward because the central bankers, they're not just going to give all of it away. They want control. And they're trying to figure out a way to keep control. And this is why the entire system needs to be brought to the edge. I mean, think about it, what happened today. The GDP numbers came out, and they're telling us that they're around 4% or so. And everyone's going, wow, the economy it's incredible. It's just done a lot better than anyone ever thought. We've never hit 4%. When was the last time we hit 4%? It was a long time ago. And when we really look at it, what they've done is they played with the numbers. If we look at one aspect of today's GDP report that was completely ignored, was the wide-ranging revision to historical data that the BEA released alongside the latest numbers. What it showed was a doozy. On a chained real dollar basis, the U.S. economy was estimated to have reached 18.5 trillion level in the second quarter of 2018. Now, if we put this number in context, the last pre-revision number was 17.37 trillion as of the first quarter of this year. And now it was revised to 18.3 trillion. This means that the BEA has revised the U.S. economy to be 1 trillion higher to pull this 4% GDP number out. I mean, the revision is unbelievable. And, of course, what they did was they manipulated numbers. And as we look further into this, we're going to see this. And this is what this is all about. They're using the same scheme, the same tactics that the other administrations used, and they're pushing it into overdrive to bring this system down. And we know this from Q. Q has been telling us now that the Fed is on the chopping block. Changes are going to be made, and things are going to change. And remember, to get rid of this system, to get rid of the corruption in Congress. I mean, you can't get rid of all of it, but to get rid of a lot of this, you need to go to the source of the problem. And the source of the problem of all of this is the private Western central banks. And again, they're private. They're a private corporation. They do things behind closed doors. Nobody can see what they're doing. Yes, they'll give us certain reports, but as we can see right now, the Fed started to hide data. They're saying, okay, you know something? You don't need the M3. Oh, you know what? You don't need the real yield curve. We'll give you a different calculation for a yield curve. You know what? You don't need to see when we're unloading our balance sheet. That's really none of your business. And as you can see, they are hiding this information, changing this information so they are not to be blamed for when the system comes down, because that's what they're going to do. And this is why Trump was out there and he pointed the finger at the Fed, saying that, you know, these rates that you're continually pushing up, it's not going to help. But you know best, so go ahead and do what you're going to do. He kind of set them up right there. And we know what the Fed is about to do. We know what they want to do. They want to bring the system down. They want to blame it on Trump. Remember, the Fed is made up of the deep state and bankers and many other individuals that are all combined into one, and they all have an agenda. And we see right now their agenda is to stay in control. And we know on the other side, we have the Patriots and Trump, where they're making their move to bring it down. Now, a long time ago, we talked about how they're going to try to set up the Fed and create this narrative to bring down their entire operation. And that's what is happening right now. They're pushing this information, putting reports out in the mainstream media saying that there's going to be changes. This is the beginning stages. And this is why Trump does have Andrew Jackson on the wall. It's to make changes to bring down the old system so a new system can be put into place. And when we move into this new system, it's not going to be easy. Trump, the Patriots, they're going to try to make it as easy as possible. But when you're switching from one system to another, it's not just going to be a snap of the finger and everything is great. I mean, look what Russia has gone through. Look what many other countries have gone through. But on the other side of all of this, it will be a lot better. And it will be a lot better for many, many people if they want to start a business, if they want to send their children to school, health insurance. The value of the currency will not decline the way it is. We will not have the crashes that we have been experiencing from the Fed. We won't have this manipulation where all the wealth is driven up to the 1%. And everyone else is standing here going, I can't even find a job. I can't even make ends meet. I'm not even making enough. And who knows, maybe all these taxes, if we get rid of the central bank, will completely disappear. And we'll go back to sound money, an economy that really works for the people, not for a chosen few. And this is what it is all about. We're moving in this direction. But everyone needs to be prepared for this, because it's not going to be easy, like I've been saying for quite a while. You're going to have food, you're going to have to water, you're going to have supplies, you're going to have cash on hand. I do believe you're going to need some cryptocurrencies, gold and silver, to weather this storm, because as we go through this transition, yes, we're going to see hyperinflation. Yes, we're going to see credit freeze up, because as we transition, it's going to change everything that we know about the economy today and change it into something completely different. And I do believe there'll be a new currency. Things will have to change. But once it does, it will be a lot better than it is today. And to get through this, you need to be prepared. Now, for those people that aren't prepared, they're going to struggle a little bit. And the Patriots and Trump and the rest, they're going to try to make it as easy as possible. But again, you can't do it on a nationwide basis. It's completely impossible. So people are going to complain. People are going to be very angry. People are going to be pissed off. And not just with this, but with many other things that Q has been talking about. But we all need to be ready and prepared for this, because as we can see, things are breaking down rapidly. The manipulation is really out of this world today, where they're really changing a lot of the information to make it look like we're doing a lot better than it really is. And of course, using the same strategy that they've been using all along, so we can turn around and say, what have you been doing here? You've been manipulating all these numbers to make us think that the economy's doing well. The central bank has been telling us that it's doing well. They're saying we're on track, we're on recovery. Everything looks great. What went wrong? Let's take a look at the Fed. Maybe we should audit the Fed. And we know that Trump will sign that audit bill. And once he does that, it will be game over for the central bank, because then you can go in and take a look at what they've been doing. And once you find out what they've been doing and it's presented to the American people, guess what happens? You can remove the Fed. You can get the votes to say, we don't need them anymore. There's no reason, or take them over and control it. Make sure it's not private anymore. Make sure it's a people's central bank that creates